Hello, my friends. Welcome to Self-Care Society. Welcome to Winning the Week. My name is Danika, Brysha. I'm going to be your guide for today's class. Hi, Ariana, Kim, Kristen's here, Monica, Stephanie, Sherry, Thea. Hello, hello. And everyone else who is here, you can say hello in the chat if you'd like. No pressure. You can also be a fly on the wall in these classes. We don't mind. Hi, Karen. Well, welcome. Hi, Dee. Can y'all believe we're in the last week of January? Which is kind of crazy. So that's kind of what this class is going to be all about, is just this idea of are the things that we want to do monthly, what we can possibly kind of like check off in these next few days, and just kind of stuff along those lines. So the class today is called Your Monthly Habits and Happenings. Your monthly habits and happenings. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Gretchen. Hi, Tara. Hi, Dee. Did I say hi to you already, Dee? Never hurts to be said hello to multiple times. Hi, Alexandria. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, it's going to be a great class. And Kim says, honestly, it's been the longest month ever. I'm so happy to move on. There you go. Amen. So we got something new ahead. We're going to wrap this one up in the most beautiful way possible and move into a new month. All right, your monthly habits and happenings. So let me paste this in the chat, this quote, short and sweet, and something I'm sure many of you have heard, but I think it's an important reminder, especially in the context of having a few days of this month left. So especially if you're feeling like this month was like not great, you still got time to make it whatever you want it to be, right? And to take ownership and choose that, maybe it ends in a way that is better than it started for you, right? Or whatever it is. Okay. So the quote is from The Secret Garden, Frances Hodgson Burnett, and says, "It's astonishing how short a time it can take for very wonderful things to happen." It's astonishing how short a time it can take for very wonderful things to happen. And I want you to think back right now. You don't have to put this in the chat or anything like that, but I want you to just think back on like one little decision that changed your life. Actually, I would love if you put it in the chat because I think it's really fun to hear these things if you want to. But if you think back, you're like, wow, I made this one decision, or I decided to go to this coffee shop, or I decided to say yes to this invitation, or I decided to change the way I ate, whatever it was. And it changed my life dramatically. And a lot of times those things happen in really short bursts. Like I think about, I was at Bank of America back when I guess it was like 2007 or no, 2000 and probably 11. And I was approached by modeling agents and they signed me. And the next decade of my life, I spent working as a plus size model because I was randomly approached in Bank of America, right? Or I think about meeting my partner and we actually met on Tinder, right? And like, what are the chances, right? So there's so many things like that. I think about changing the way I ate in 2014 and this sort of like funnel it to, or waterfall effect that it had on everything in my life and getting into self-care and wellness and all that. So there's just so many of those things, right, that can happen in an instant. One decision, one opportunity, anything like that can just transform our lives in such big ways. So yeah, if you want to share anything in the chat, I love to read these. Ariana says, go online dating and met my husband. We've been together for 13 years. Yeah. Beautiful. Both of my brothers and I, we all had met partners on online dating. So it was really, it's interesting just these days, let's see. Dee says, I said yes to an online date from a guy that lived 3 hours away from me. Now he's my husband. Yes, right? Lisa, to be truly honest, starting and continuing with SCS. I love you, Lisa. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Yes. Ashley, been meditating on this concept lately. Yeah, it's just these like tiny decisions, right? In these short amount of times, I've had opportunities come up, like I don't know, the moment I decided let's go on tour in 2018, right? Like that was really a kind of a quick decision, and it changed everything, right? And I think about all the lives it changed, right? And so, yeah, Annie, thank you. Going to brunch series alone changed my self-care and self-love. Yes, beautiful. Dee, I said yes to following my dream of opening a travel agency, and now I'm literally living my dream. Right. These are amazing. Kim says, taking a summer job at Disney led me to meeting my husband and entirely changing my career path, like literally changed my entire life. Yes. this, right? Like these small things, getting out in the world and just trying new things and being visible, right? We talked about visibility on the planning workshop yesterday. So anyway, yes. Okay. So we could go and talk about that. But anyway, my point being is I just think back on that. I think about how quickly things can change, right? So if you're in a rut or you're just kind of like, what's next? Just remember, like any day you could walk out that door and literally anything could happen, which is pretty miraculous, right? And awesome if you're someone like many of us in this community that tend to lean towards optimism and hopefulness, because you kind of that's fun, exciting. Like an email can come in, I don't know, it's so fun. So anyway, that's what I want to kind of lean into today as we go through our exercises. So we're going to start with our first exercise, which is a reflection exercise, and it's called your monthly desires. Okay, so let me explain this to you. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you're going to make a list of things that you'd like to do at least once monthly this year. Okay, if you did New Year, you can pull from your goals list or the activity we did where we put like habits at different frequencies. If you didn't do New Year or you don't have that, no problem. You're really just thinking about anything that feels like a commitment that would be great at the frequency of about a month for you. Of course, you can do a little more. You can do a less, whatever, but something that you feel like would be like, okay, this would be a good commitment for me to do once a month. Maybe it's like deep cleaning your house, So let me read my examples. I said dropping off donations. Love to do that once a month, even if it's just a small box of some stuff that we're no longer using. A date night with my partner. It's hard in the season of life with little kids, but it's doable. Solo dates with my daughters, doing at least one new hike, taking a day of the month to do like a business education day. So like taking a course, really like learning and expanding, doing a course, building something, making my monthly photo books. I kind of like take all the photos from the previous month and make them into this magazine thing. So we have some printed copies, our family game night, and maybe taking an RV trip. Okay. So these are some things for me that when I think about what I'd like to do, 12 times this year, roughly, these are some ideas. Okay, so we're going to take a few minutes to do this. If you're done, share in the chat, because I think this is really one of those collaborative exercises that can really help each other. Okay, so about 3 minutes here. making room for relationships of all kinds, nurturing and or rekindling the flames of community. Awesome. Sherry says, go to the theater, walk the gardens, friend dates at a new restaurant, exploring different hikes, do something crazy like book a spontaneous flight for weekend fun. Love it. Ariana says, Disneyland days, use my annual pass, donate clothes, declutter, swimming at the gym, self-care society workshops. I love that one. I forgot to put that, the monthly planning workshop, but yes, a million times yes. Facials and massages, Kim, a local away day, trying a new coffee shop or having a fancy solo lunch, focus creative work at the library, and ending the day with a long walk somewhere new. Beautiful. Kristen says getting a massage, reviewing bank statements and credit card statements. I do something financial also, and I love it. It's like so helpful. Writing a note or card to someone, monthly planning workshops, visiting a museum. Beautiful. Annie says picking a room or space to declutter each month. These are amazing, y'all. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. So our next exercise is building upon this, as maybe you could have guessed. So this is our clarity exercise. Okay. Clarity, taking action on remaining monthly intentions. All right. So we're going to go back through the list you created and make note of anything that is done and anything that remains undone. Okay. Once you create your list of what remains, I want you to create a plan for anything you can still realistically do this month. And that's even like the smallest way. You can include the date, the time, if that's applicable, and the details of how or what you'll do. So what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, we want to do these things every month. Well, January is our opportunity to start that success, right? Oftentimes, if it doesn't get done in January and you want it to be a monthly commitment, then it loses its sort of luster as this new thing you're going to do monthly for the year. Okay. So we are going to take that power back, and we have about 5 days left. And so, yes, not everything's going to be realistic to get done in 5 days, but I want you to think about what is on that list of things that you want to do monthly that have not already happened in January. Okay. So you're going to go through that list. You're going to pull out the things that have not happened yet, and then you're going to create sort of a plan for how you might do them. So my example, my solo dates with my daughters. Well, we're traveling to San Diego today until Thursday, so it's tight. And I'm not sure how I'm going to make this happen, but maybe what I'll do is make them just less formal. I'll do maybe like a solo playground trip with one of my daughters, or I'll do like a solo swimming date at the hotel pool when Sunny's napping. I can take my older daughter, whatever it is. So I can get creative with that, and it doesn't have to be this big like outing, right? And that was helpful for me to see, right? A business education day. I can take a Maria Went marketing or business course or a money course, a course that I already own because that's part of my yearly intentions as well, something I use what I have. So I could take that today or on Thursday on our long drive to California. I want to do a course. So that kind of coincides with my business education. So I'm going to plan to watch that course in the car, download it ahead of time. And I wanted to take an RV trip. Now, I don't know that we're going to be able to take an RV trip in this short time, but I'm wondering if maybe, we want to, take a hike on Friday morning and take the RV with us and make it a little cute, getaway, right? So there's ways that we can get creative. And if I can't take an RV trip, I'm totally fine with that happening kind of more quarterly too. Okay. So I hope this helps. Let's take some time here. We have about 4 minutes to make a plan for these things that we say we want to do monthly, that are left undone. Okay. Not meeting. got one more minute. One more minute. Okay, I know that was less than a minute, but the music stopped, so I figured it was my cue. All right, some beautiful examples here. Hazel and I do hot cocoa dates while Quinn naps. Love that, Annie. Awesome. Yes. Tara says, I'm hoping to clear or organize our family room Wednesday evening and take Thursday to do the monthly planning workshop for half of the day, as well as use the other half for a self-care day and monthly creative activity. Awesome. Kim said, just scheduled pickup, please, while we were finishing this exercise. Kim, you always inspire me to get those pickups scheduled. I love it. It's so awesome. Jess says, one of mine is to wear a fun or new or different outfit from my closet. Going to a birthday party this weekend and excited to put intention into wearing something fun. I love this so much. Like, we get so stuck in a rut of wearing the same things over and over. And, you know, yet I keep so many things, right? So what a good idea. What a fun, that could be a fun challenge for a monthly challenge for next month too, is to, like, yeah, or something you haven't worn in a while, or get rid of it, right? If it doesn't fit or whatever. Karen says, spending 15 minutes 2 evenings this week going through the bedroom and office closet and donating whatever I have by Thursday. Love it. Karen just scheduled my massage for February. You guys are amazing. This is so good. So good. Okay. Feel free to share anything else that you'd like to share here. Our next exercise is an intentionality exercise. Many of you know that for me, one of the biggest, kind of most powerful ways that I've transformed my life and my habits is through monthly challenges. It's through changing one thing for the every day, like doing it every day or consistently for 1 month as a habit, and then deciding at the end of the month if the habit suits me and if I want to keep it. If I want to keep it and adjust it a little bit, or if it didn't serve me and I don't want to keep it, right? And just gradually, month to month, adding in these new sort of lifestyle habits. And they're monthly challenges. And for me, they've just been so powerful. So we're going to think about some ideas that we could do for February. Not some, we're going to think of one, because it's very easy to think of a lot. Or not easy, but it's easy to want to do a lot, I should say. So one great way to create new habits and shift behavior for the long term is to commit to a monthly challenge. This is something new that you can commit to every day for the new month ahead. I want you to decide on a monthly challenge you might do for February, and feel free to scan through your goals list for 2025 if you have one, and see if you might create a monthly challenge for something on there that you said you wanted for this year. So for example, in New Year and just in general, I've always wanted to create content ahead, like bulk build content, so I can really create impactful stuff and post it for social media and schedule it so it's ahead. It's always been very hard for me to do. And so I hesitate to even make this my monthly challenge, but I know that means it's a good thing. And part of my word for this month, if you did the planning workshop, is visibility, right? It's like getting out there, having an impact, being visible. Okay. So my example is posting a reel or a feed post to social media each day, preparing these ahead of time that provides valuable content to others while maintaining my year-long commitment of not consuming social media. Okay. So this is mine. So I just want to give you a couple minutes here to think about one thing that you might commit to for the month of February that might make a positive impact in your life. Okay. So 2 minutes, and drop it in the chat once you know, because if you speak it out loud, it gives it a little bit more oomph. And you never know, maybe you can find a little accountability buddy in here also. Okay. know that wasn't a ton of time, but I want to leave room for our last exercise, and I want to read some of these amazing ideas out loud. So if you're still thinking or you need ideas, listen up. Karen says a daily walk in January really served me. Going to continue that. Going to continue that for February. Great. Reading every day. Ariana. Tara says I do so much sitting with my job, so my monthly challenge is to get daily movement and physical activity in. Awesome. Kim, resuming my healthy habit of no phone and reading a chapter each morning by 8 a.m. Love it. Jess says submerge in water every day. A bath, a pool, a cold plunge, a hot tub. So cool. So creative. Karen says no scrolling social media in January really served me, but I'm interested to see if I can find a way in February to show up differently while still maintaining these boundaries. Beautiful. Love that. Nati, I'm going to do a 75-day challenge. This one's a bit more like 2 to 3 months, but will help in establishing the habits and commitment. I love it. Awesome. Kim, aiming for a 90 sleep score on my ordering every day. Stephanie, skincare and gua sha. Alexandria, daily food tracking. I've done it the past week and it's been eye-opening. Beautiful. Getting outside daily, even at 15 minutes. Yes. Awesome. Okay, friends, we got one more exercise to do. It's a manifestation exercise. So I'm going to paste it in the chat so that you can have a few minutes to get this done before we wrap up. So this is your monthly review. You're going to imagine that it is February 1st. So I guess about 5 days in the future. And then if you're watching the replay, whatever, first day of the next month, write a reflection from the future of January 2025, from the future of the month January 2025, and be sure to include all the things you plan to do in the next 5 days too. This will be a blending of what really happens and what you hope to happen in the next 5 days. Do not be afraid to dream big and stay hopeful about the many miracles and manifestations that could come to you this week before the new month starts. Okay. For example, I can truly say that though there was a lot going on in the world, January was an amazing start to 2025 personally. I just felt set up so well, and I'm really proud of the ways that I stuck to the new commitments I had for myself. We took 2 awesome family trips that required minimal spending. I hiked a bunch and even hiked solo and did a date hike with Bill. I've been reading to the girls so much more and just significantly more present. I stuck to my no consumption of social media commitment. It feels awesome. Our San Diego trip was a blast, and I loved using the transit time to learn and expand, as well as create content for my February monthly challenge. Even though we had lots to do on Friday, we had a blast taking the RV to Red Rocks and so on. I'm reading the whole thing because I wanted you to see how I wove in some of the things that I'm saying are going to happen in this final week as well. Okay. All right. We just got a couple of minutes. I'm going to go a minute or so over. Just a heads up on that. I'm sorry. Next time I won't talk on mute for so long. So yeah, if you have to go, I love you. Thank you for being here, but let's take a few minutes here. start wrapping that up. And hopefully you're feeling clear and inspired for this final week of January. If you have a moment right now, it would be really effective and powerful to take some of these commitments that you made and put them into whatever systems you use to stay accountable. So whether you have a project management tool like Asana, or you use a calendar, or you use a planner, or you want to put a Post-it on the fridge or on your window, whatever it is that will hold, or set alarms, reminders, whatever, schedule this in, make the time for these things, because all you got to do is do it this month. And then you've started this amazing routine and ritual and habit that you get to repeat each month. And then maybe next month you'll do it a little bit earlier, so we're not crunching it in the final days. But you still have time. There's plenty of time. And if you're like me, I appreciate the kind of framework of new starts and months, and just kind of having that, even if we're not going to get into a deep dive on how time is not really real and all that. We don't have time for that. However, no pun intended. However, these things make a big difference, right? And scheduling them in and having the systems help. So I love you all. What a gift it is to spend the mornings with you and to start, like, the first thing I get to do on Monday is this with all of you. It's just beyond me that this is like, it's just such a gift. So I wouldn't be here if you didn't show up. And I'm so grateful for all of you and your gentleness and support. So I love you all. Have an amazing final week of January. And I wish you an amazing, amazing week. All right. Love you all. See you guys later. Bye.